Hey, howdy, hi. Hope everyone's having a good day. Thanks for checking out the video. So, you're new to riding, you decided to take the MSF class. That's awesome to hear. Like, super hyped. I know a lot of people say it's really boring and it's not worth it, and I disagree with them. Aside from the boring part, it is kind of boring, but you do learn some pretty valuable things in it, in my opinion, and you get some really good discounts with it, so you can save money. With that all being said though, just a heads up, this isn't going to be like a whole lot of riding. Like I said, this is going to be kind of like your day one class. You really don't do any riding on your day one. Sorry, I hella fumbled over my words right there. Your day one for your MSF class is going to be a lot of talking and kind of just getting to know your bike. So I'm not going to go through all the talking speeches and stuff. A lot of it's about safety, keeping in mind that, you know, you're on a motorcycle, most people can't see you, and just be smart about stuff. Each coach kind of has their own different spiel that they go through, but you're just going to have to sit through that. I guess I will say though, when you go to your MSF class, you have to have shoes that cover your ankles at least. You need to have pants, some type of jacket or hoodie, and you need to have a helmet and gloves. So don't show up to your class wearing like flip-flops or shorts. I don't remember if they said bucket helmets are okay. I took my class like 5 years ago, so I had a full face helmet, but you need to have all your gear. It doesn't have to be motorcycle gear. It just has to cover your body. And that's like the big important thing that they're going to talk to you about. So, moving on from that, when you get there, they're going to have all these bikes laid out, and you can pick your own bike. They have like sport bikes, not like this sport bike, more like sport cruisers. Typically, I think most of them are going to be 300s. You might find a 400, but it's kind of not likely. And then you'll have more like kind of bagger style cruisers and stuff like that. So definitely don't bring your own bike. If I can recommend anything to anybody, don't bring your bike to that class, because you are going to be doing stuff that you are probably going to drop a bike on. I almost dropped their bike, and I had some riding experience prior to me going there. Their bikes are all written off, okay? Like, they have them there for you to drop. So just show up and grab one of their bikes, and that way if you drop it, you don't have to pay to fix it. You might feel bad about it, but I mean, it is what it is. You'll get over it in like 5 minutes. So anyways, you pick out your bike. Before they have you get on the bike or anything, they're going to have you basically walk around the bike. Picture this as kind of like a pre-trip. So you're going to walk around, kind of identify parts, you know, like, oh, there's my chain, that's the shifter, tail lights, brakes, all that stuff. Like I said, it's kind of boring at first. So from there, my coach had us get on and off the bikes like a dozen times. Obviously, I'm not going to do that. So they're going to have you get on the bike. You're going to keep your kickstand down. And now you're going to start getting familiar with your handlebars, or your hand controls, okay? Keep both feet down on the ground if you can. That's ideal. And try not to move, try not to wiggle too much. I mean, you can. I know, like, I played with my bike a little bit just to kind of get familiar with the weight. Bounced up and down a little bit. So, but anyways, then they're going to have you go over your controls. So obviously your ignition's here. I'm not going to put my gloves on yet. You got your high beams, turn signals. To turn your turn signals off, you'll click that in. That turns it off. Your horn. Now, my bike does have a few features that not a lot of bikes have. Like, I have hazard lights. This helps me select things on my gauge cluster. Those two things, likely the bike, whatever bike you get on, is not going to have these options. So don't really worry about those. Now, this is your kill switch, and that's your start, basically. So you'll flip your bike on. turn your kill switch on, just like that. And that's basically exactly what they're gonna have you do too. They're gonna have you turn your bike on, turn your kill switch on. Like, they're gonna edge you a whole bunch where they're like, okay, and you think you're gonna go do something, and you're not. So your first day is definitely a tease for sure. Your second day is where you're going to be doing a lot more stuff on it. But so yeah, those are your thumb controls, what you can do with your thumbs. Normally you'll have your gloves on too. This is your throttle, obviously, your front brake, and your clutch. So something else that they're going to have you do, and the entire time too, you're going to have your kickstand down. I just bumped mine. So mine's in gear. That's something that I learned from my MSF class. It's just a habit that I have now, is to always keep my bike in gear. So with my bike in gear, okay, I'm rocking back and forth. I can't really move very much. So now you're gonna take your clutch and you're gonna kind of move around just a bit. And I recommend kind of slowly letting your clutch out, so you can kind of see where that friction point is, like where the engagement point is. Sorry, not friction point, the engagement point. Okay? And just kind of do that a little bit. So, and then one of the other things they're going to have you do, you're going to kick your bike up into neutral. So use your foot and you kick up. Your very bottom gear, here, let me show you. Because some people are better visual learners. So this is your shifter. When you push it all the way down, this is your shift pattern. Okay? All the way down is first gear. One click up is neutral. Second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Now most bikes aren't going to go through all your gears when they're off. See, so now I'm back into first. Now I'm in neutral. Okay, so now that you're in neutral, what they're gonna have you do is now you're gonna walk the bike. And the idea for this, you know, you can kind of zigzag a little bit. The idea of this is to just kind of get you used to, again, like the weight of the bike, how it feels to move it, how inconvenient it is when the bike's not running. Like, this is useful, but it is kind of annoying. And then they're gonna have you get off the bike again, and then you guys are gonna go talk for like 20 minutes about something, whatever it is. Okay, we had to change locations. Apparently I didn't see the invisible no motorcycle signs that were posted all over the entrance like he claimed, but it's whatever. Like a 2-minute interaction, so I just said okay, and grabbed my stuff and headed out. Where I left off at, oh yeah, you're walking the bike. So you're on the bike and you're walking it. I don't really want to put my gloves on, so we're gonna kick my bike back into neutral. So you're walking the bike. So something else that they're gonna have you do on this MSF class, as you're walking the bike, they're gonna have you play with your brakes, your front brakes specifically, and try and pay attention when you kind of squeeze these too. If you squeeze them really hard, I don't know if you can see that in this angle, but the whole front of the bike jolts down, okay, and that's like a quick squeeze. So you're gonna play with them just a little bit, and then you can slowly, gradually squeeze them. And this is something really important. I really want you guys to practice this, because I see a lot of people lay their bikes down because like they panic or something and they grab them really hard. Okay, you don't want to do that. It's a little hard to kind of play with your back brake in this position, so you're going to be focusing really a lot on your front brakes. Now you can kind of do whatever you want with them there, but yeah, just you're going to be walking it, you know, kind of take a couple steps, gradually slow down, you know, kind of see how fast you can grab them before you're trying to avoid that jolt. Okay, you don't want that dramatic of a weight shift to the front of the bike, especially when you're out riding. Like in an emergency situation, you grab your brakes, all your weight shifts to the front, your front wheel comes to a complete stop, like it's gonna end really badly. So doing this is a pretty good practice premise for going into like emergency braking. And that'll be something that that I want to cover more on like the day 2 MSF class, and possibly even just make a whole separate video about that, because that is a really important thing to learn. But that is something that they will go over in your MSF class as well, is emergency braking. So anyway, so you got your braking. I'm gonna have you probably get off the bike again. Like I said, you're getting on and off the bike so much in this first day MSF class. Like, you're really not doing a whole lot of riding. Turn the bike on. Okay, also, actually, I know that this is part of day 1 because we had a couple riders have this issue. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it to do this. Let's see. So not every bike also has a gear indicator, just so you guys know. Okay, so I just went to click down into first. You see how my gear disappeared? It's not in first gear. Now you can hold the clutch. My bike's not on, which is why I'm not like super worried about it. But when you're out riding, if that ever happens, all you're gonna do is just kind of rock your bike. All you're doing is just moving your bike a little bit and it'll go into gear. Totally fine. So, to start your bike, hold your clutch in, put your kickstand up. I'm gonna show you guys this. The first time that this happened to me, I freaked out. So my kickstand's down, I'm in first gear, I have my kill switch set so it's on, and nothing's happening. So the first time this ever happened to me, I thought I broke my bike. Most bikes will have a like safety switch on the kickstand, so you can't like ride off with the kickstand. I've heard issues with some of those, so just keep that in mind too. All right, so the next thing that they'll probably have you do, you're going to keep your feet down on the ground. You're going to kind of walk the bike a little bit, because now it feels a little bit different. Now that the bike's running, you know, you're still holding your clutch in, but the bike seems like it's like moving a little bit better. Again, play with your brakes and throw it into neutral. Do the same thing. Bike seems to kind of move a little bit sorry, a little bit easier. Okay, so now we're going to put it back into first gear, and you're going to kind of play with your clutch. Okay, so I'm not using any throttle. Alright, don't do this in your MSF class. Keep your hands on the handlebars at all times. I'm just doing this as a demonstration. But you see how the bike's starting to move? Okay, no throttle. So you want to do that. That'll kind of help you play around with it, kind of help you get a little familiar with the clutch. So while we're talking about clutch play, and you're going to play with your clutch a lot in the MSF class, and I have an opinion personally on the clutches. So you're going to hear a term wet clutch and dry clutch. Most motorcycles will have a wet clutch system. The only bikes that I personally know of that have dry clutches are Ducatis, and the main difference is your motorcycle clutch, a wet clutch, essentially your oiling system from when you do your oil and stuff is going to go through your clutch system. It's going to help your clutch discs, and that's essentially what your wet clutch is, from what I was told. Okay, I actually never really looked into it. This is just how I was explained it. So if I'm incorrect, leave a comment, because I would love to be educated on this myself. But a dry clutch is more similar to like what your car has. So you know how your clutches in your vehicles and stuff, like in your manual transmission, they're dry. If you ride your clutch, you're going to have issues. You're going to burn it out. Typically, you're going to have to go through and change your clutch out, right? On a motorcycle, you can still burn your clutch out, but regular riding, it's so much less likely to happen. Like you can definitely like ride your clutch a lot more on a motorcycle than you ever could on a car. And I do that a lot, especially coming through parking lots and stuff. That's something we're going to go over in day 2, is clutch control, clutch and throttle control. That was a little bit tricky for me to understand during the MSF class, but I know that I've gotten some more experience on it. I have kind of figured it out, and now I understand it a lot better. But yeah, so that's something. Don't be afraid to use your clutch. Like, your clutch is there as a tool, as an instrument to help you to make your riding experience better and basically more functional. So you're going to use your clutch a lot. Like I said, it's a wet clutch. It's meant to basically do this stuff. You can do it in a car, kind of, but I mean, you will burn your clutch out pretty fast in a car if you try to drive it the same way that you would on a motorcycle. So, and in my personal opinion, I think dry clutches on a motorcycle is really stupid because of how often I use my clutch for like my throttle control and like low speed maneuvers and stuff like that. I don't understand the point of having a dry clutch. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for day 1, really. Like I said, I think it's just going to be a lot of talking, and you'll be on the bike for maybe 30 minutes, and then you're basically done for the day, and then you'll come back the following day, do some more talking. Day 2 is typically where you're going to do a lot more riding. So I am going to probably end this video. I am going to have to look for a new spot before I can film day 2, because I didn't realize how close this freeway was to this parking spot. So I want somewhere a little bit more quieter so I can talk a little bit better. And I'm hoping to have another camera set up too, so you guys can see a couple things. But yeah, anyways, hope that helps. Good luck on your guys' test. Ride safe, and I will see you guys in the next video.